The WWE Women's division has some of the best talent. While the women's revolution has brought about change, not everything WWE has done has been for the betterment of the division. Be it rules women have to follow now in WWE, or simply facts about some of the wrestlers that you may not have been aware of, this is Wrestling Up and we're looking at things you did not know about WWE's women's division. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Up and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Becky Lynch is by far the biggest name in the women's division after a feud with Ronda Rousey. Since then, the man has been undeniable and recently returned to become a force once again, but even she had a lot of struggles in her former years. I was completely out of shape, I had no drive, I was drinking, I was smoking things you shouldn't be, and I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm 15, I need to get it together. Thankfully, she found wrestling. She lied to Finn Balor that she was 16 to learn how to wrestle, though she ended up injuring herself in a match in September of 06 as she tried to hit her opponent with a German suplex but landed on her own head. Lynch had headaches, buzzing in her ears, vision issues, as well as nerve issues. This put her out for a long time. She instead worked as a flight attendant for 2.5 years. I went searching and turns out that the grass wasn't greener. There was always that part of me. I would write in my journal, I'm not doing what I'm meant to. I feel like I'm supposed to be in WWE, but I don't know how to get there. I feel like I've burned bridges, and I feel like this time's passing and I just need to get over it. She had been away from wrestling for a long time before going to Columbia College in Chicago, and there she started wrestling in Shimmer. Had she not gone there, she might have never entered wrestling again. Women in WWE have come a long way, but back in the day of divas, this was not always the case. There might have been only a few women who were going to be used, while others were not going to be on the card. They had to stick around for 3 to 5 hours waiting around backstage. Even recently, Charlie Caruso had turned up a bit late to shows, and since this happened a few times, she was let go. Caruso was great for interviews, and having released months after Renee Young left WWE at a loss. Together with Trish, Lita was synonymous with some of the best wrestlers to have ever worked in WWE. During a Twitch stream, Lita revealed WWE threatened to fire her if she did not take part in Edge's live sex celebration in the ring. Lita was uncomfortable, but WWE wanted her to do it without her top. Apparently, Edge, John Cena, and backstage officials backed her up, yet Vince McMahon demanded it, with this being a reason for her leaving the company. Not long ago, WWE Women posed for Playboy. Now, the company no longer wants their talent to be associated with adult-themed magazines. Even Lana got in trouble when she had nude photos taken with Rusev on the beach. The two of them were called to Mark Carano's office, who shouted at them for not getting permission. So you guys had a pretty interesting weekend, huh? I'm not a big Twitter guy, as you know, or Instagram, but the one that I found which was really cool was this one on celebrities uncovered naked photos. The moment was broadcast on Total Divas. Lana ended up explaining they were not really completely nude, but Carano explained that young girls and boys were their fans and such shoots were not allowed. In WWE, wrestlers, broadcasters, and co-workers are able to date, but staff are not allowed to date any of the women talent. It should be noted that given this rule, the Bella twins have a rather interesting connection to a staff member. The mother of the Bellas married John Laurinaitis, who's one of the highest-ranking backstage officials. Alexa Bliss suffered from an eating disorder, and at 15 she was only 80 pounds. When I went to the hospital, I almost went into cardiac arrest, and I wasn't allowed to go to sleep. They thought I'd die if I did. Dealing with eating disorders, anxiety, and depression, I'm no stranger to mental illness. Every few years I deal with a really bad spell of depression. You have to know it doesn't have to overtake your life. Mental illness can't dictate someone's entire life. I put myself in a position to be in the public eye, but I'm doing what I love. I've gone to therapy, I've done everything I can do to get my brain in a healthy place. Even after she had turned her life around, Bliss was struggling. She competed in bikini competitions and bodybuilding competitions, but was not able to make it there. Instead, she turned to wrestling. Charlotte Flair has been divorced twice and has not had the best luck in her romantic life. In fact, in her marriage to Ricky Johnson, she ended up suffering abuse. She said, "Ricky started swinging at me like we were in a street fight. Over his screams, I could hear his fist hit my arms. I managed to block most of the punches, but one shot got me in the ribs. I began to gasp for air, but he didn't stop. Ricky punched me in the head. I think about that girl now, and it brings tears to my eyes. How did I get there? Why was this going on? Why wasn't I strong enough, brave enough to win this?" Thankfully now she appears to have found love with her fiancé Andrade. Paige's family, the Knights, have always been connected with wrestling, but there is a dark past surrounding her mother. During the speaking out movement, there were accusations against her kissing a minor and several other alleged abuse on students. She defended herself on social media before deleting it all, denying the allegations. Paige also supported her mother, saying that she thanked everyone who had shown her parents' support. Paige has been retired from wrestling for some time thanks to injuries, although she is still signed with WWE. In one of the most bizarre rules, WWE women are not allowed to wear baby blue trunks in North Carolina on Wednesdays. The reason behind the rule is not known, and since there are not televised shows on Wednesdays, no one is really affected. Kenny Dykstra was engaged to Mickie James and found out about her cheating on him. She was googling Mickie James and John Cena dating. I asked why. She broke down crying. Then I heard more from others. She was checking to see if it was on the net yet. She ended up confessing to him, and that was the end of their relationship. However, Cena's relationship with James led to Dykstra being transferred to SmackDown from Raw so that Cena and James could easily date. Eventually, he was released. Dykstra went on to claim the only reason that James was successful was because of her relationship with Cena. He was messing with MJ, so I got moved to SmackDown so they could further mess. I got jobbed, got fired. When MJ got crazy because he wouldn't date her, she got fired. Weird biz, huh? She got title on TV show while with him. Serves her well though. She wanted to date him. He said no. She flipped out backstage, which led to her demise. He went on to add that after James' behavior, Cena wanted nothing to do with her and WWE started to bury her backstage. When they were together, she got the title, TV roles. When he dumped her, she became Becky James, then fired. Kenny said that Cena hated him because he had talked about Cena's relationship with James in public. If I spoke out, it would have ruined my chance of returning to WWE. Now I'm set with what I'm doing and don't care if I get banned. I'm ruining any chance of a WWE return by doing this, I'm sure, but it doesn't matter to me. It should be mentioned, Mickie noted that everything Kenny said about her and Cena was a lie in her interview with Lillian Garcia, mentioning that this was done to possibly boost his book sales. And these were things you didn't know about WWE's women's division. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.